Forget about efficiency and you know, being a drone, working with your atomic CSS. No. CSS can do so much more than that. And we're gonna see how, if you can imagine it, you can make it happen. And we're gonna see that from Julia, who moved here to the Netherlands about a year ago, working at GitLab. She is a product designer and UX engineer. But you probably know her for CSS animations, right? And this is what she does. She demonstrates, not just CSS, she demonstrates the magic that CSS makes possible. And you will believe that nothing is impossible with CSS. And I want you to give her a very warm welcome. Please welcome Julia Miocene.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone, for having me here. And I want to ask you to give a huge round of applause for everyone who's doing this great conference, CSS Day, everyone who's organizing this, everyone who's responsible for the food, for the sound and light, everything. It's really awesome that we have conferences like this where we can share everything about CSS and also about some animation stuff. But before we dive in, I want to play a little game with you. I'm going to show you 4 different pictures, and your task is to guess, is it CSS or not? Okay? Raise your hand if you think it is CSS. Okay, and who thinks it's not CSS? Okay, it's a tie. Next one, is it CSS? Okay, and who thinks it's not a CSS? Okay, more people than the previous. And what about this one? Is it CSS? And who thinks it's not? Okay, just a few of you. Okay. And what about this one? Is it CSS? Okay. So some of you were right. Just one of them is not CSS. It's actually one hoch. And others I created this week, so it's pure CSS, and that's why I'm here. So hello, everyone. I'm Julia Miocene. I'm a product designer or UX engineer, you can call me this way, because I write code in production, actually. Also, I'm a Google developer expert for web, Women Tech Maker ambassador. I have a YouTube channel, and most importantly, I'm a pure CSS artist and animator. My journey in CSS art started around 8 years ago, and I don't have any traditional artist skills, so I can draw. But I always wanted to draw something, and the only thing I can do is CSS. So I started to do some CSS art 8 years ago, and I always wanted to create some characters, like real ones, that can express real emotions like human beings, that can move like humans. And I created a bunch of different characters. I started from this sponge. It was one of my first characters, which was pretty, easy. Then I created a lot of different things. I created food, any different birds, even insects. And also I created people, but they're pretty easy and flat. Also I created people eating, because I like eat, I like create people, so it's the perfect mix. And this is like the most complicated one for me, because it looks like a real character, real cartoonish character, but it's real just pure CSS. And also, I like not only create something like this, I want to share this knowledge how to create art in CSS. So I started a YouTube channel last year, and there I post videos how I create all of these demos. And in the next few months, I'm going to post all of the videos with demos from this talk. So if you want to know how I created them, you can just subscribe to my channel and see my videos. But before we start, let's define what the character is. Actually, it could be anything. It could be a person, it could be an animal, it could be a cat bus, it could be a god, it could be even Susuwatari, if you like Miyazaki movies. The only thing that makes character character is emotion that it expresses, because not characters can have any emotions and characters have them. So the main thing for characters is imagine what emotion it could express and show it. We have a few different tools how to do this. We can show some emotions and the nature of the character with the shape of the character. This is the picture from Pixar, I don't know, some artists from there. Round characters, they're always friendly, they smiley, they happy, they pretty silly, but they're really like good persons. Rectangle characters, they're always strong, they're heavy, sometimes they're angry, they have some really strong emotions. And triangle characters, they're always unstable. They, moving around, they running here and there, they can be scary or something like this. Also, we have the motion. And the way how the character acts is also makes us feel something. We don't have a face here, but we can feel what this character feels, what emotions this character has. And also we have the easiest one is the face expression, because you can just draw a smile and we're all gonna know this character is smiling. So just remember these aspects, we'll need them further. So I created a lot of different characters during these 8 years, and I'm trying to make them more and more complicated every time, because I like the challenge for myself. And the last year, around the Christmas, I thought, can I even create a 3D character, like the real one in CSS? And am I capable of, animating it and make it move like a real person? And I spent a lot of time modeling this character. I started over a few times, actually, and a few months ago I thought, I'm not gonna do this anymore, because I don't know how to do this. Just wanted to give up. But when I got the invitation for the CSS Day, I decided, well, I need to finish it. So today I show you 5 steps of creating 3D character, real 3D character in CSS that I discovered during this time. And at the end of this talk, I'll show you my demo that I created during this time, and you will tell me if I succeeded or not. Maybe it's completely a crap, but we'll see. First step, we need to define a 3D objects, because every 3D scene starts from the 3D object, the basic one. And let's see what's happened if we rotate our normal rectangle in CSS. It looks like it's shrinking. It's not rotating in 3D. It just shrinks, and that's it. So we can use perspective property for this. And it creates the feeling of the depth, but it's really not, because this rectangle is still flat. You can see this right now, but if I'll add another one inside this and also rotate it in 3D, you see they lay on different layers. They don't overlap, so it's not real 3D. It's just 2D rectangles that don't overlap. So I need to define a 3D space for these rectangles. And we have transform style for this. This property helps us to say, is it flat space or is it 3D? So we can use preserve 3D value and say all of these rectangles gonna live in 3D space. So if we rotate the same rectangles at the same angles, they're gonna overlap like a real 3D. So I need to create a cube, which is the basic object for any 3D modeling. And I created a square like the flat one. And if I rotate it in 3D, it should become a cube. Yeah, it's not working because we don't have any shapes like this in CSS. We actually don't have any cubes, any spheres. We don't have pyramids, nothing. We just have a flat surface. And to create any 3D object, any basic 3D object that we have by default in any graphic editor, we need to craft it from the scratch, just like cave people. So any cube has 6 faces. And with one div, I can create just 3 of them. The main div I can use for one face, and another 2 faces I can create just with the elements. So I need another div to create the whole cube. And for the cube, I need just 2 divs. So I create equal shapes, like equal squares with white background and black borders, and rotate them around the main face. And here is our cube, which is like the basic shape for for any 3D modeling. And I guess I should explain how it works, because I'm not sure if anyone here works with 3D in CSS. So we have a transform property for transforming anything in CSS in our web. And it has a bunch of different functions. We have skew, rotate, translate, scale, blah, 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 anything else. But for 3D, we need just rotation and translation. Nothing else, just forget about them. Both of these functions, like translate and rotate, can work in 2 dimensions, like x and y. And you can define translate in 2 numbers, like you say it's x and y axis, and the rotation, just you say it rotates in which of these axes. And most importantly, these functions has an z-axis, and we can rotate things and also translate things in z-axis, which is pretty handy in 3D. You can use separate properties like translate, rotate, or you can just actually you should check how many manipulations you need to do for your object, because if you need something more complicated, you need to rotate the object a few times in a row, or you need to create a complex animation. It's better to use just transform property and use the bunch of different transforms there. And a really cool part about this is that when you use transform property with functions inside, you can repeat them. So you can say rotate x, rotate x, rotate x, and add each rotation with animation, and your object will be moving around. So I just rotate the faces and translate them to the right points. Yeah, so this is the cube. It's super basic shape, and we can start working with this. And also, this is just divs and the elements. So I can use a little bit background and use a few gradients to get something like this. So we can add faces, and it's already kind of a character. Also, I can color the whole cube and create something like this, which is, I guess it's an animal or something. And also, we can add a few more cubes, just like before, and color them in other colors, and get the whole animal. I've been creating a fox, but my husband said it's a dog, so I'm not sure what is this. But I'll continue, call it fox. Next step is the light source. Since there are no such thing as like light source in CSS, we need to imagine where it could be. And we need light source for coloring our character. I tried a few different techniques. I tried to place it in a few different places, and I found the perfect solution for people who just started working with 3D CSS. It's on top before the character. This way, the face will be really well highlighted, and both sides of the character will be highlighted equally. So you don't need to create a bunch of different colors. You just copy-paste the right and the left side of the character. And if you move light source somewhere else or add another one, here this girl has a few different light sources in different places, and it's pretty complicated. If you do something like this, you'll spend, I don't know, a week for coloring the character. I don't recommend it, just place it on top before the character. I haven't drawn the light source and guides, but I'll do it now to explain my thought process. This is the red dot. Imagine it's a lamp or something like this, or a softbox in your CSS photo studio. I draw lines from this light source to the edges of my character. This way we can see how the light covers the character. And we can color the front side and the top side like equally because they well highlighted. And we can also color both sides equally because they highlighted equally. So I use the same colors for the right and for the left side of the character. And the bottom side of the character is almost black because there are no light at all. And also I use the same colors like for the sides, for the back side of the character, because I imagine that this photo studio has a light reflector on top of the character somewhere there. So I don't need to create another bunch of colors. So I have just these 8 colors, 3 colors, 3 shades for each color. I use custom properties for these colors just because I created something more complex than just one cube. So you can do something like this. And this is the time to add some shadows. I do the same thing. I connect the red dot, which is the lamp in our studio, with the surface through the edges of the character. This way I know where the shadow will end. And to create the real shadow, I need to mask it somehow because it's a pretty complex shape. And I like to use clip paths. And in particular, I like to use polygon because this is a kind of cubic character and it has rough edges. So I connect the red dot with the surface, like the floor, and place all of these coordinates to the clip path. This way I get something like this. And now I need to blur it. And if I blur something that has clip path, it won't work because clip path clips everything inside of this. So what I do, I place clip path into the solder element and I blur the parent element. This way I have a pretty complex shape with a clip path, and also I can blur it. But for the shadows on the character, I use gradients. I could create a new element and place it there, but I'm pretty lazy to create another element, so I just like to use gradients because I know how to use them. And are there any people who created buttons before border radius was invented? Yeah? A lot of yeah, I'm sorry for bringing back these memories, but I use the same techniques here. I just do you remember the sprites for the buttons here? Yeah, to round the corners. Yeah, same here. I use a few gradients just to create this smooth shape, because we can't create something like this in CSS right now. We have just linear and radial gradients, and we can't blur them. So I just use a few different gradients, place them. Yes, we can place and set the size of the backgrounds. I use shorthand because, I don't know, I don't like to write a lot of words in CSS. But you can use just background position, background size for this, and color your character with the shadows. So the interesting part about shadows that I don't know, no one talk about on CSS conferences. It's the color of the shadow. It depends on the light source. If the light source is warm, the shadow will be cool, and if the color of the light source is cool, the shadow will be warm. You can look at right now on your hand. For example, we have a lot of pretty warm light sources, and the shadows will be pretty cool. And if you really want to create a real shadow, you can just, I don't know, Google it somehow, or just take a picture of the real object and try to do the same thing. So here's my fox with the proper light source, shadows, and everything like this. It's pretty fun to create characters, cubic characters, but I wanted to create humans. And it's not pretty human. So the next step is skeleton. And this is the most important part of creating 3D characters. You can mess up coloring, you can mess up the light source, you can mess up animation, like anything, but you can't mess up doing skeleton because it's like the base of any animation. Like the human body, we can't live without the skeleton. So same for the characters in CSS. Have you ever seen this artist dummy? Or kind of like this in IKEA, there are a lot of them. So we should do something like this, like the same structure like these dummies, but in HTML. Here is the structure. We have our character, which is the root element. Inside of this, we have neck. Inside the neck, we have hat. Also inside the body we have the shoulder, inside the shoulder we have an arm, inside the arm we have the hand, inside the hand we have fingers, and so on, so on, so on. And if your character has a tail, for example, it also should be inside the body element. Does it make any sense? Yeah? Okay. And also if you want to work with props and add something to your character, also nest them inside the body element. If it's a hat, it should be inside the hat element. If it's something like a sword or cup of coffee or something else that this character should hold in the hat, it should be inside the hand element. So this is the character that I created the first for this talk, and I just added a few more cubes to add arms, body, and the legs. And if I rotate right now, without the proper nesting and everything that I showed previously, it will look pretty weird. Like, you know, humans don't act like this. It doesn't make any sense. So this is why we need to nest everything properly. And we need to do this for a lot of different reasons. For example, if we rotate something like an arm with everything inside, we need just one animation. And if we don't nest them properly, we need to create a few different animations. We need to connect them, and it's a mess. I did it, I know. In my first demos, I didn't know about this thing. I didn't try to nest them properly, and I created a lot of awful demos, and I don't delete them on purpose because I want you all to see how you shouldn't do. And for example, this is the one of my first demos. You see, it's fallen apart. Like everything moves separately. And look at this elbow. Where is it? That's why you should do nesting. And look here, this is the good example about the props. The coffee cup is moving. How is it moving? This pigeon doesn't hold it. It's somewhere else. If I'll create it right now, I'll create two different cups. So one inside the wing and another one inside the table. And I'll will just switch them. But that time I didn't know about this trick, so I created it separately and tried to move it around, and it's pretty awful. I need to define joins because we already nested everything properly. Now we need to define joins like the real human. And for joins, I use transform origin, which is the point that help us to create the point where the transformation should start. The best example is rotation, because it's pretty obvious how it works. By default, it's transform origin. This point is in the center of the object. And if you rotate your object, it will be rotated from the center. And you can place it whenever you want. It could be inside the object, it could be outside the object, it could be even in 3D. So you can use that axis for transform origin. And for smooth animation of the characters, I overlap the root element with the nested one. And I create something like a circle. And in the center of this circle, I place the transform origin. This way, the animation looks pretty smooth. And if it's, for example, an elbow or the knee, it looks pretty good. But if I mess up, it's broken. If it's an elbow, this person should go to emergency room because it's completely broken. And one more trick with the flat joints. You can create a few smaller objects, nest them inside each other, and connect them with the proper joints like previously. And you can create something like this. It's like a sausage-like shape or spaghetti, I don't know. And no one would ever believe you it's just a pure CSS, because it doesn't look like CSS. It's not a button or form or something like this. So we can overlap our objects in 2D, but we really can't do this in 3D. Well, like we can, but it's complicated, and right now we're beginner level, so forget about this. Right now, if I rotate my character's shoulder, it would act like this. So we need to place the joint in the right place. And the perfect point for the shoulder would be somewhere, like, how to explain? Look at your body, and you need to place your joint in the place where you can bend it. So, for example, if you create an elbow, you should place it on the back side of the elbow because you can't bend it there. You can bend it to the front. So place the transform origin to the back. And for the knee, place it in the front. And when you're creating character and moving around transform origins, you always have to try it because it can look weird, but if it works fine, if you didn't mess up skeleton and joints, it will look fine. For example, this arms acts normally, and this character also can kind of walk. So we did a great job. Now we have skeletons, so we can start animating. And it could sound scary, like animating in 3D, a real character, wow. But actually, it's much easier than I did previously, like, believe me. Here, I should animate everything, like I animated rotation, translation, sometimes SQ elements, I changed colors, opacity, a lot of different stuff. And in the first demo, that here, it's a Monument Valley game, I created a few different scenes that I should switch around and a few different characters, so it's pretty complicated. And for 3D animation, I need just to rotate our joints and sometimes translate our character, and that's it, so it's pretty easy. And you need to define keyframes. Keyframe is an add rule for your animation, and you can specify as many keyframes as you want. And for one of the demos I showed previously, I had something like this. But it was a flat image, so don't worry. You shouldn't do anything like this. In 3D, it's much easier. I always animate a few different objects on the page. So I use custom property where I place everything about animation because I don't want to change it everywhere and go through the thousands of lines of code. And I just place this, like everything inside one custom property. So let's make it walk. Walk is the the most common thing for any animator, so we always start from the walking. And you can just go to Google and write something like keyframes for any walk and just copy all of these keyframes. You don't need to, imagine something. Or you can go to YouTube channel, any YouTube channel with people and just copy-paste real people, how they walk. Or you can record yourself on the street, for example, and copy how you walk, because it's also kind of, funny, I guess. So each action consists of a few different keyframes. Keyframe is the capture of the movement in the extreme points. So, for example, if you create a simple jump without doing something else, we have just two keyframes. It's the lowest point and the highest point. Everything in the middle, browser will draw automatically, so you don't need to care about this. You need to just create keyframes for extreme points. And for the simplest walk, you need just 4 different keyframes. You can create even 2, but it's going to be, for one leg. So you found somewhere all of these keyframes. You need to count them and divide 100% with this number, and you'll get the length of one keyframe. So we can create something like a dummy for any animation. And this is the point where we should decide what we want to animate, how it should act. Because this character can be happy, it can be neutral, it can be angry, it can be injured, it could be anything else. And it really affects how many keyframes you need and which keyframes you need. So animation is pretty fun. So And I already said that we can color them and color the whole character, so we can create the whole Minecraftish characters are pretty fun to play with them, but I wanted to create a real human body, and real human, it's not there. But for the real body, I need to start working on sculpturing. Yeah, it's pretty tough topic to talk about. I took my previous demo that danced previously, added a few more cubes because I wanted to rotate more elements in their body. So I did hands, I added neck, I divided the whole body into torso, belly, and hips because they're gonna move separately, like real human body. And the next step is cutting edges of this. And I took each body part separately and inclined the sides. So we had the cube, and I inclined all the sides to get something more smooth, something more human. And then I rotate this cube, I cut edges, I rotate it again and cut other edges. I rotate it again and again and again. And I do this for each body part of this dummy. And for cutting edges, we have a few different options. I like to use clip path. I already told about this. And I use polygon here because it's not, I don't need circles here or anything like this. And also I use some mask here, like a lot. I'm a pure CSS artist, so I don't use SVG here. That's why I use for mask linear gradient. And also I use just gradients if I don't want to spend elements for masking. And with masking, we can create anything. We can just cut our image. We can use gradients. We can use repetitive gradients. Doesn't matter. And if you're still using pseudo elements for these kind of gradients for the list, you all have some kind of lists in your projects. Just stop doing this. You can use mask. You don't need to care about the color of this gradient. You don't need to take care of the placement of this. You can just use mask and it will work, just like with gradients, but one element less. So I cut edges for each body part separately. It was quite loud, sorry. For some parts of the body, like hips, for example, I need to create something like I showed previously with these spaghetti arms or legs. I need to create a chain of elements. Something like this. And I need it because I need to rotate all of these elements. I don't want to place each element separately because it's pretty tough. I need to spend a lot more time on this, and there will be a lot of gaps between them. So I just place one div, rotate them. I place another div inside this and rotate it. And this is how I get the chain of the divs, and it looks pretty good. So I rotate one more time, cut all the edges, try to make them better, some kind of. And right now I need to make it even better, and I need to add a few more elements to this character. And for each body part, I need to add at least 4 more elements. And I need to create something like a really interesting shape. Right now we have, if we'll look at this character from the top, we'll see something like a cube for every body part. And I need to place kind of like another cube inside of this and cut all the edges, and I'll get a more smoother body. So I did it. So the same thing here. I just placed another element. I cut edges. I rotated. I cut edges, so on and so on. And the next thing, I need to color this character because blue one is not my best character. So I want to color them, and I use the same trick. I place the light source in front on top of the character, and I have a few colors. Obviously, I have the color for the skin, for hair, for clothes, and also for socks, but it could be something else. Doesn't matter. And every surface of this character I color with this color, but I also mix it. I could use just a color picker and, I don't know, play with this somehow. But I like to use a color function because I can change the color of the character like easily. I just change one color property and that's it. Everything else will be adjusted. So, this is the coloring. I can color this character like in any color, so you can just change the appearance of this because I used mixed. And one more thing. I use this trick all the time, and I like it because it makes me feel like I create something real, like, you know, the real image or real video. Because real graphic assets like videos or images, they always were compressed somewhere in the browser or before this, and they have some kind of distortion. And when you see the real CSS drawing, they don't have any distortion because they were drawn like this, and you just feel it. You see it's not a real image. So I add a little bit noise to each image. And yeah, I use CSS SVG filters for this. And if you didn't know, we can use SVG filters without a real SVG. We can use them inside CSS filters. And do you see the difference? Is it obvious? Cool. So there are a few different tools for creating some kind of filters for CSS and for SVG, and try them. And I don't really like them because they're so complicated, or they don't have all the filters. And I like this one. It's the tool made by Yoxel. It's pretty cool because there are a lot of presets. You can just copy-paste it, or you can go to Playground and play with all the filters there, or collect them together and create something even crazier than something in presets. And you just place this filter. You choose the filter. You place it inside the CSS. Look here, no SVG element, nothing. It's just a filter, and you just call it somehow and use this filter for your CSS object. And yeah, I use it all the time. And I use it for 3D. I thought it's going to be dangerous for my laptop, but it's not. And yeah, I created this. And yeah, does it look good? Does it look like a real human being? Well, yeah, at least for me, yeah. But I definitely want to work more on this and cut more edges and add something else, add eyes or something else, maybe some props, I don't know. But yeah, I just posted this demo on Twitter. I'll post it on Mastodon a few minutes later after the talk, so you can just go there, go to the link and go to CodePen and just look how it works. And yeah, if there is one thing you take from my talk, I want it to be like nothing is impossible, because I see there are a lot of people here who's smarter than me and more competent than me. And if I did this, this character in 3D that's running, so I think you can do even more. Thanks.
Thank you, Julia. That was great.
Thanks.
So I learned a lot. I learned a lot about animation, I learned a lot about light sources, but I didn't learn a lot about you. I want to know how you got into all this. Where did it start?
I don't know. Actually, I didn't know. CSS is so powerful, and it's the only tool I know. I can draw, but I know CSS, so I started drawing some tools, some things. At work, it was a pretty easy thing, but I heard a talk from Yuna on Peter CSS, and she drew something like a zombie, I guess, with the brain. And I decided, like, I can do this. I can do something like this, and here I am.
So how long have you been doing this?
Around 8 years.
Okay. And you describe yourself as a pure CSS artist. Is there a pure CSS art community?
We don't have a community, but there are a bunch of people on social media, so yeah, you can follow.
And who do you follow? Who inspires you when it comes to this stuff?
Oh, there are a lot of people. Amit here, he's great. And also Ben Evans, he gave a talk, I don't know, 2 years ago, I guess, here. He also showed how he drew.
Yeah. We have a question here from Brecht saying that, when you're creating this kind of character model, it must require you to get into some kind of Zen state. It seems like it takes a long time, which could be quite frustrating for someone just starting out in this. Any tips on getting into that state?
Yeah, just try to do something smaller. Like,
Start small.
yeah, like it's. I'm a designer, and we have some thing like a progressive image. So you always on each state you need to have a complete version of what you're doing, but you need to enhance it with every step. So just create a few small cubes and create a character from this, like a dog or fox or whatever it was, and add a few more cubes and a few more, and you're always gonna have a real character, but it will be better and better every time.
Building up.
Yeah.
And I get the sense you like being very hands-on, writing everything by hand. But have you ever written tools for yourself to generate some of this stuff?
No, I don't think it's possible. There are not many, users for this.
We've got a question from troublemaker Chris Lilly here. He said, for the CSS characters, why is color mix using sRGB rather than, for example, OK Lab, as we heard earlier? There's a far superior color space.
Yeah, I just took the color from the color palette, so it was in sRGB. So.
But actually, that brings up an interesting point. It's about things landing in browsers, changes to CSS. Well, first of all, has there been any like new features that have been a game changer for you?
I guess transition API is a game changer.
Yeah.
Because it really makes you feel like it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And it also relates to animations. I like animations.
And you seem to be a big fan of custom properties too. I mean, it makes
yeah.
life easy, right?
Yeah.
And kind of follow on from that, what's on your wish list? What do you wish CSS had?
I'd like to have a better keyframes. Mm-hmm. Because right now every keyframe has like the percentage of the whole animation, and you can't adjust it with the time. And I would like to set like at 1 second do this, and then second one do something else.
Actual timeline.
Yes.
Kind of thing. Okay, I hear some murmuring there. Yeah. Oh, well, what about this for wishes? You mentioned that to make a cube you need to have 2 elements because you only get 2 pseudo classes for the generated content. Do you ever wish you could get more generated content, more pseudo classes?
No.
No, you don't want colon after colon after colon after.
No. I write code in production. I don't want to miss this.
Well, okay, that brings something up as well. You write code in production. Does some of this transfer? I'm thinking of stuff like the animations that feel natural, the light sources that make sense. Does that transfer into production code?
Yes, sure. Actually, all the stuff that I'm showing is really relatable to my work, but not in the full size. But yeah, some parts of this, because the right rotations, right easings, and everything like this, it's really important for any UI. And when you create shadows for your button, card, everything, you need to know the physics of this, and you need to know how it should act in real world, how it should, animate naturally. So it really helps me.
And I'm hoping we're going to see even more animation in production. We're getting things like view transitions now. But maybe, and this is something Matthias brought up, maybe we're being held back by our design tools, very static. They take static pictures of websites, right?
Yeah.
Is there any substitute for just getting in there into the browser?
Yeah, we just need to stop using Figma.
All right. That works for me.